You have made it. This is the world's richest bass fishing tournament, the $1 million Forest Wood Open. We're glad you're here. I'm Tommy Sanders, and we are here on Connecticut River, the largest, longest river in New England. As a matter of fact, it drains an area twice the size of the state of Connecticut. It is an impressive fishery. This week especially, it's put a tremendous obstacle between the 5 anglers who are fishing for the title and the $200,000 first prize. To tell us about some of those obstacles, let's go upstream a little bit to Jerry Kennis. Jerry?
Boy, obstacles is right, Tommy. I am at the Hadley Dam here. We're probably 20 miles above you on the Connecticut River. Of course, man, in the past 10 days, there's been some terrible floods in all of New England, and many of the tributaries are pouring into the Connecticut River, and this baby is probably 10 or 12 foot higher than normal. Man, there's a wall of water coming across this dam. That's an awesome sight, and you might be wondering, how in the world are these fishermen going to be able to cope with something like that? Well, as always, we started with 150 anglers here, and 5 of them out something pretty special enough to let them continue for one more day and allow them to fish $200,000.
In life never really change.
We won't do anything that's unsafe. It's just riding a river at flood stage with a lot of debris is unsafe enough as it is when it's bright, clear skies. You know, you can usually avoid it if you're careful and watch what you're doing. But trying to navigate in the fog is just impossible. And we'd never do anything to get anybody hurt. No matter how nervous these guys get and want to go out, we just can't do that, and we'll not do that for the safety's sake.
So fog and, of course, the high water are playing a big part in this event. And what happens if they can't go?
Guys, I think they voted that we're going to go on yesterday's weight.
No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
Well, let's get a deck of cards instead of that. I'd have a better chance.
If I get to fish 15 minutes, I'm okay.
15 minutes?
15.
That's all I need.
I think it'd take me 20.
It's going to take me longer than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Randall's going to catch 5 in 20, I think.
He's got him. He's the only.
Yeah, he's on
in his shoes. I'd just be happy. I'd be smiling.
Well, I'm happy to be here. I don't care if I catch fish. Well, I do care, but I'm sure proud to be here.
It's a good feeling when the worst thing that happened to you, you make $30,000.
It's really hard to get down on that, ain't it?
Well, I've looked at this deal. I live right there where Walmart is, so my wife's always been able to shop at Walmart. I figure I'm getting my investment back.
Well, Jerry, after a 2-hour delay, things are finally looking better. And, of course, every angler handles that news a different way.
Making me awful nervous.
All right, I guess we're putting the boat in the water. Doesn't mean we're going yet, but I guess we're getting something done here. Want to get fishing.
5-6 pounds might take on the money.
We're really not going to get any of the prime low tide conditions. But I'm not making excuses. Somebody's going to win this darn thing. And I'm going to try to make sure it's me, but...
Finally on the road.
Finally on the road, and yes, we've lost time, but it's the same for each one of these anglers, and yes, the water is high, but again, equal for all 5 of these fishermen.
And these guys have really got some decisions to make on their long runs. They fish closely, and shoot, they've been here for a week or so, so they all have a number of good places to go to. They've got quite a few fish, but it's a little bit small, so losing that really hurts.
I really shouldn't be the second fish I've lost all week. Lost one yesterday, about 2 pounds, and then I lost that one, and that's not a bad. Out of 18, I've caught 18, 5, 23. 23 keeps and lose. So normally when you're dealing with smallmouth, the ratio is probably a little worse than that. But that one hurt big time.
You know, people have been living up on this river for a long, long time, so that means there's so many bridges, different types of structures, all up and down, Jerry.
Yeah, and obviously Jerry is zeroed in on some of them. He's also working the currents, and he's actually working the eddies. That's where these fish are at.
He's a baby, but he'll work.
That's actually the Dexter manufacturing facility there where Jerry just caught that fish. Here's Randall Hudson. I believe he's up at the Route 190 bridge close to Enfield.
And kind of check out the watercolor when you can here. The watercolor back in here is a little bit, a little greener than what Jerry Williams was fishing in. Obviously, Jerry was out on the main river, and I bet we'll see some spots where the water is coming back into the area Randall's fishing right here. So this is off of the main current, and Tommy, of course, Randall's fishing light line here, and he's fishing for smallmouth bass.
Yeah, and he scores, so that ties him with Jerry Williams so far.
This is a pretty popular little place back in here. I think throughout the qualifying, several guys fished here, and wouldn't be surprised if we see guys we have left here amongst our 5. We'll see 1 or 2 of them in here along with Randall. And there's where the water is coming in. There's the main lake right out front of us.
Well, they've some rain.
And it's swirling, and it moved back in this little area. And Randall actually has a bunch of smallmouth in this area here.
Kind of interesting to see the little bitty line and the little lures and everything. It's not what we usually see out here.
That's right. Randall's fishing with 8-pound test line. He said that fish came back. He'd be surprised if he didn't have it all the time. That's a famous trick of a smallmouth is pick up a bait and run at you, and you lose contact with it.
I hope you do. Yes, I can.
Could be the second fish of the day pretty soon here.
A lot of action. A lot of action back in these places, and most of them are smallmouth bass.
13-incher.
I get some, but it looks like this dirty water has come out of...
No, there's one right there. Ah!
Very bold, and that looks it all for his start today, Jerry.
Little spot saved me right yesterday. I pulled her yesterday about 10 o'clock and caught 3 in about 5 flips.
Mike McClellan from Fayetteville, Arkansas. Time we've seen him out here. Walmart FLW Tour. He has broken into it in a big way, fishing for the $200,000 first prize. Found him placed pretty close to the ramp there, Jerry, I believe.
Yeah, he's fishing this bridge structure, obviously, and you get to thinking about a structure on a big reservoir, big impoundment, and you think that
That's going to be big enough.
No, I don't believe it will either.
Pretty close.
It needs to be 12 inches, but you don't really think about the structure that's in a river. There's lots of it. It's just in a different farm normally. Bridge piers. We were watching Jerry Williams fish earlier around some concrete foundations next to an old factory, and Randall Hudson is also fishing bridge piers here, and
he's staying on that one.
He's got it dandy, man. I'm not kidding you.
Can't blame him. Wow, that's a good fish.
That's one of the better smallmouth. That's what Randall Hudson is doing up there. Obviously, man, in the qualifying rounds, he and some other guys, some dandy smallmouth, up to 4 pounds. And boy, these guys are fishing in places where there are lots of smallmouth.
It's happening a little quicker this morning. Just like a little bit as big, but that don't matter. Huh? Pound 3/4.
Oh, they're biting.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. Hungry. And I'm hungry. Oh, gosh, and I'm nervous. Hadn't had this much fun. I don't know when. I think I wasn't this nervous when I got married. Oh, no. Go fishing. Go back to fishing.
Randall's telling himself to just settle down now, forget the situation, and just fish.
I think Jim changed his plan today. I think he decided to shorten up his run a little. I don't know where he was going, but I heard him say he had to tell the camera boat a new place. So he probably shortened up his run today.
Randall is talking about Jim Moynagh, this year's champion of the Forest Wood Open. Jim Moynagh won the $200,000, and he's trying as hard as he can to repeat.
I think he's fishing on dry land here, isn't he?
Is he standing on a...
Isn't it amazing how different this water looks, the water that Jim's fishing, as compared to Randall Hudson
Absolutely.
and Jerry Williams? This is like Moynagh has left the country and he's in a completely different lake.
Looks like he's down in Venezuela somewhere.
That's right.
Or something.
Obviously, he is way down the river, and there are more bushes and you know, the normal structure that we tend to look for, and largemouth instead of smallmouth.
Right, and the length limit is exactly the same for both, 12 inches, so Jim Moynagh is now on the board.
I guess it will be 12 inches. Oh, yeah. 12 3/4. Could be, it's not a very big one, but could separate me from several $1,000s later here today. Could be a difference between 50, 100, who knows.
I tell you what, Jim Moynagh would be a lot tougher if he had a little bit more time. This late start really put him behind the 8 ball, but I tell you what, he could still catch up down here in a hurry.
Nice net job. Da-dee-da-dee-da.
Jim Moynagh seems pretty happy right now. He did give up a lot of time with that run, but as you say, Jerry, he can still catch up.
It ain't over yet. That's for sure. Bunch more to go.
Can you find Jerry Williams in this picture right here? As you can see right now, Jerry is just behind Randall Hudson. Randall with 3 fish and 4 pitching. Moynagh and the rest of the pack here. We got ourselves a good race going.
And you know, Jerry is really buried there. And, you know, a little bit about the rules here. Every cameraman must be inside of his fisherman, or else there's no observer for the fisherman. So Jerry's buried back there pretty far, but the cameraman is right on him.
We can see you, Jerry.
Yeah, we know.
No funny stuff.
And also, this is tidal water, too. We're talking about up and down high flooding water, but it's also regulated by the tide.
How about them apples, sports fans?
I really kind of got my dad interested in fishing. I mean, it was something I always wanted to do. And so when we started spending time together and fishing, we just had a lot closer relationship. You know, we went camping and fishing, and I can remember he used to take me out of school to fish. It's just been an awesome experience together. Since I got out of painting, he has also, and he's making a product called the Pro Locker. It's a rod carrying case. So he travels around to a lot of the sports shows that I do in the spring and winter months of the year, so it's pretty neat to be able to spend time with him that way too. He doesn't get to fish near as much as he used to. That's a go. That's what I'm sorry about. Ooh. That was a nice one. I saw that fish cruise up through there and pitched up there, and he ate it. At least now I know they're going to bite a little bit today.